Coach, it's great to have you here. And before we get started, please, if you would allow me, I know you're neutral media, but you know to us you're always a Colt. And this has been our mantra this whole season, and just wanted to present you with this shirt and would hope you would wear it well for us.
Well, you know what, Frank, I can't wear it on Saturday, but I will wear it proudly. 1% better every day, and that's what we've always talked about.
It is. It's funny. We got this start. We got in this hole of 1-5 that we dug ourselves into, and it really, just being a young team, forged in us this mentality of backs against the wall. Doesn't matter. We're going to stick to what we know: fundamentals and technique. 1% better every day, and 1-0. And that's been the mindset ever since.
No, and it's been awesome to see. Seems like I heard that somewhere too.
No doubt. I learned it from the best, for sure.
All right, Frank, 2006, you're interning with us. 2007, we want to hire you, but you're working and you're going to seminary. 2008, you called Bill Polian and said, I want to be a coach. What happened to make you make that phone call?
I always knew I would kind of migrate back. I just loved the game, loved being around the players. And those couple years doing an internship under you just kind of confirmed that just being around the guys in the locker room, the high level of competition, and the culture here was so good. And I was just thankful to you to let me have that start.
Well, I know you felt like God had a call on your life and you're going to be in the ministry, but what changed that to make your ministry coaching?
Well, you know what? I really do believe that's what it was. And sometimes, like in life, you're searching for how that plays out. What does it look like? The heart of it was all the same, but the path that it took leading me back into football was one that I didn't expect at first, but one that I found very natural to be able to live out those same principles no matter what it was I was doing. And for me, it just happened to be football. A love and a passion of mine, and connecting that with my faith was just a great, perfect match for me.
So you're an assistant coach last year, had that great ride to the Super Bowl. You offensive coordinator for a team that lost its starting quarterback. You win the Super Bowl, and you don't get a phone call for a head coaching job. Were you discouraged at all at that point?
You know what? I really wasn't. I had been through the process once before, and my wife Linda and I had sat down, and as it started to come towards the end and into the playoffs, we had just made this decision that we weren't going to chase after. She actually used the phrase to me, "Hey, no chasing after the win. If this is meant to be, it'll happen. We're having such a good time here. This is such a good place," and that's really how we felt. So we were all in. We were all in there, and just wanted to do our best job there and see how things played out.
So you're not going to chase, and then Josh McDaniels backs out of the Colts job, and your phone does ring. It's Chris Ballard, and he's talking to you, but it's a weird situation. The quarterback's hurt. They've got assistant coaches who they're committed to. Why did you say yes?
Well, it was interesting. Chris calls, and we talk on the phone just for a minute, set up hey, come on in a couple days later. And just walking back in this building, after having coached here under you for a few years, and the culture that you set, just the family atmosphere, and then the high level of success that we had in this city and in this building. And when I walked back in this building, it felt like home. It really did. Knew so many people here. But that was great. But then the next and most important step was the connection with Chris. And just really felt like, you know what, I looked him in the eye, I could feel the integrity, the sincerity there, just talking to him about vision and purpose, about what we would want for this team, and it felt like we were finishing each other's sentences right from the start.
Was that really important for you to have that connection with the GM, that you guys were in lockstep?
It really is. I just kind of, as a player and even as an assistant coach, seeing, always watching from the outside, kind of taking those mental notes about how it looks like, and watching you and Bill Polian together and how that worked. I just feel like that's critical to the success of the team. And with Chris, I just felt that right away. And it's just been really fun to agree upon the kind of players that we, Colts players, that, hey, there's a certain DNA that we want in our players, and we're both committed to that. And I think we both, head coach and GM, that's essential.
So you feel this connection, you take the job. Tell me the first thing you wanted to get across to the team when you got here.
Well, at our first meeting, I remember it like it was yesterday. I really do, because I thought long and hard about, hey, we have an opportunity here. What's going to be the initial message? And it was basically the 3 T's. The first one was going to be trust. You know, it all had to start with trust. Next was going to be about toughness, right? And our definition of toughness was going to be a relentless pursuit to get better every day and an obsession to finish. And then team. You know, we wanted team-first mentality through and through throughout this building. We just wanted people who were unselfish, committed to the cause, and all in for each other.
So that goes and gets it off to a good start. Now you start to work with Andrew Luck, and we know how great he is. But I understand the first time he's throwing a ball, it's a little kiddie football, and it's going maybe 10 yards. What are you thinking there?
Well, you know what's ironic is that when I was here working under you, and Peyton went through that injury, and I saw Peyton go from throwing a football for the first time after the couple's neck surgeries that I had, thinking, I'm not sure this guy's ever going to play again, let alone go on to do what he did after he recovered from that surgery. That really helped give me perspective coming into this. You know, that obviously what Andrew went through was really significant in his shoulder injury, but I just had so much confidence in him. The kind of person he is, the kind of player. He had the right people around him. I really never had a doubt that he was going to be great.
Was there a moment in time, either in practice or during a game, where you said, he's back, this is Andrew Luck?
You know, there were moments, I would say, as it went. I can't ever say there was one throw, one practice. What I saw was the consistency of his mentality and his approach, the discipline, how methodical it was, how, just the purpose that he had behind everything he was doing, how well thought out it was, how patient he was. He wasn't going to rush himself. He had already done that once, trying to do the right thing for the team. Yeah. And I think this time he was just committed to doing the right thing, to getting his shoulder, the integrity back in his shoulder.
You know, I saw it maybe in October as we're watching his press conferences, and I could just see that little kind of funny, hey, I'm having fun coming back, and I said, he's there.
Yeah, there's no doubt that, even though physically we saw, he starts training camp and we're good and you can see, but he's still getting better every day and physically and stronger. And then we get into the season and he's playing good football and we're doing some good things on offense. But I just think that confidence personally grew in our system and the players around him. And then that's when it does start to get fun.
Yeah. So you've got this trust and toughness and this mantra and this plan, and you're 1-5.
Yeah.
What were you thinking then?
Well, I'm thinking it really just takes conviction. It really takes, do you believe or do you not believe? Are we, we talk about surrendering the outcome to commit to the process. And when you're 1-5 and you're in a business that weighs you and measures you based on wins and losses, and you're talking about you're committed to people and you're committed to process, it's a gut check. But I really give our guys a lot of credit. I give our coaches a lot of credit. No one wavered. No one wavered. We had that famous players-only meeting. I think the guys probably did what they do there. They recommitted to each other and said, are we, just reconfirmed that they were in. But I even felt like during that 1-5 period, we continued to get better. We just weren't quite seeing the results yet.
And then there are a couple of key moments. You're playing Houston. I'm watching in the studio with Rodney Harrison. It's 30 seconds left, 4th down, and you go for it. Rodney's loving it, and I'm saying he's crazy. What were you thinking?
You know what? I really was thinking to try to win the game. I felt like we were unstoppable. Our offense was unstoppable in the second half of that game. I mean, we threw for almost 500 yards. Most of that was in the second half and in overtime. We got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I thought we were going to convert and then complete one other pass and kick the field goal and win the game. And we talked.
So your whole thought is, let's go win this game.
Yeah, and it really did come down to a belief and trust that we would get that done.
Do you think that galvanized the guys?
Some things have been said about that. Yeah, at some level, I don't think it was the end-all, be-all, but I do think we talked about it. We said, hey, I was trying to anticipate situations like this. Guys, we're going to get fourth down situations. Just want you to know we're going to be aggressive. And here's the basis of our aggressiveness. We believe in our offense, that we believe that we're going to do what it takes to get it done. And if we don't get it done, defense, we need you to pick us up. And we're going to win some and we're going to lose some. But this is who we are, and we're going to stick to it.
The other game everyone points to, all your players, the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
What happened there to change things and turn it around?
Well, you know, when Cris and I got together and started talking about how we were going to build the team, it was going to be from the inside out. And it was going to be about, you know, dominating up front on both sides of the ball. And, you know, we had run the ball with a little bit of success up to that point, but not like what we envisioned. And then that game, we just broke out. The defense has a dominating performance and completely shuts down the opposing offense. And then we run the ball for 200 yards. You know, we draft Quentin Nelson, we draft Braden Smith. And that just showed us that the plan, the blueprint, that we were on the right track, and the physical dominance up front was really what we were all going to be all about.
Did you talk to those guys before the game? I heard you might have told them something, the offensive linemen.
Well, yeah, there was just a challenge that this was it. You know,
we're going to see what you're made of.
We're going to see. This is the best run at the time. This was the best run defense in the NFL. You know, the Buffalo Bills were the best run defense in the NFL, I believe, at that time. And it's about time to step up and make a statement.
So you turn it around there, and you kind of get on this run. Has there been one memorable moment or one special moment in the course of that?
Yeah, it's hard to. When you're in the middle of it, since we're still in it, it's hard to look back, and I really have to pick one. But as you know, you get on a run like this, and you know these runs are hard. You know, it's hard to win. You know, to win week after week. It's just human nature to just let up just a little bit. But this is where I think what we went through, and the whole 1-0 mindset of resetting it every week, and we really wanted to establish a culture that, hey, win or lose, the results, we're surrendering the results, right? We'll add them all up when it comes to the end of the year, but we're surrendering the results. When we go walk back in this building, we got one thing on our mind. That's to get better today. Win or lose the previous game, let's go. And that's the thing that keeps sticking in my mind.
Seems like the guys have really bought into this 1-0 mentality too. What is that all about?
Yeah, it really is. It really is about just hitting that reset button and taking it
every week.
Every week, you know, no matter win or lose. Right? That's what we have to remind us. It's easy to hit the reset button on one of the, but hey, win or lose, we're coming in with the same mindset. And that if we do fight to get better every day, and if we all commit to that, the results will come. I mean, every great coach, including yourself, that I've ever been around would say the same thing. All the championship teams I've seen and watched, it's all about the process. It's all about the people. And so for us, that process starts with that 1-0 mindset.
I want to shift to the Chiefs now. You played with Jim Kelly. You coach Peyton Manning. You know what special quarterbacks look like. When you look at Patrick Mahomes, what do you see?
I see a guy who's just dynamic, and for such a young player, making every play from the pocket, out of the pocket. I've said this before, but I don't use as a former quarterback and having played with and been around all these great quarterbacks that you say, I don't throw around the term lightly, generational arm talent, but he really has that. I mean, he has unique abilities and certainly unique arm talent, but I've been more impressed with the consistency of his play and how he's minimized, you know, the big mistakes. So what a year he's had.
Yeah. Now, watching that in the Kansas City offense, if I was in your chair, I'd be saying, hey, we've got to control the ball and keep them off the field. I don't sense you feel that way.
No, I don't think I really.
That's not your mindset.
That's not the mindset. That's not the mindset. Now, I don't mind if it plays out that way. You know, I don't mind if it plays out that way. There's no secret we want to run the football. I mean, we're not bashful about that. So if we're able to run it the way we've run it a couple times this year, when we run it for 200 and the game plays out like that, great. But our mindset is to score every time we touch the ball. And, you know, with the quarterback that we have and the skill guys that we have and the guys up front, that's the way we approach it.
So you're going to be aggressive?
We're going to be aggressive and let it rip. I mean, we know this team scores points. I mean, I'm confident our defense is going to play well, but, you know, we're going to go out there. We're going to go out there and try to score.
I've coached on both sides of the field there. You've coached there. You know how loud it is. Have you guys done anything this week to get ready for the noise?
You know, we jacked the noise up pretty high in practice, and that's good. I think that's about all you can do. Last week in Houston, it was pretty loud. Yeah. Now, we all know it won't be as loud as it will be in Arrowhead, and the loudest game I ever played in as a player was certainly in Arrowhead. I mean, it was crazy how loud it was. But I believe we'll handle it well. It's a unique environment. It's truly one of the great football environments.
It is a tremendous environment.
You know, so as a player, as a coach, you know, you just say, hey, man, enjoy this experience, take it all in with one focus in mind. And we have to deal with those. We have to deal with the noise. But it starts out here in practice and how we handle and communicate and talk in the meetings about what we're going to do, what silent counts we're going to use, how we're going to use them, when we're going to use them. Every little detail of that has to be discussed and played out before we walk in that stadium.
And any one key to the game for you as you see it?
You know, I think for us it starts all up front again. I mean, they lead the NFL in sacks. You know, we lead the NFL in fewest sacks. It's going to start up front on both sides of the ball. We have to be disruptive on defense. We have to make them uncomfortable. We know that's hard. They got great players. They're a great team. Coach Reed is, of course, one of the absolute best. And Bob Sutton has done a tremendous job over his tenure there. So it's a big-time challenge. Yeah. And we have to – it's going to start up front for us. That's been our philosophy, and that's what's going to win or lose this game.
That's who I need to focus on, those front guys, and see how they're doing.
No doubt.
Got to ask you one last personal question. I see the beard, I see your coaches, your players talk about you as the cool coach with the shades and the hype dance in the locker room. But they also see the fire. So what's your coaching style? What's your leadership style?
Well, you know, it's not unlike, you know, in some ways parallel myself after you in the way that want to bring intensity, want to bring focus, want to bring that every day. But you know, I'm not a big yeller and screamer. I believe it's all about building that trust in the players and letting them feel the fire inside from that, from
they feel it too.
From what you forged, forged, not just out on the practice field, but from what you forged. You know, when they had an issue in their family and you're standing there by their side, hey, what can we do to help out here? All of that plays in. This isn't just, so it's got to be about all in on the person. It's not just about the player. It's about being all in on the person. That creates a trust, and I believe that in and of itself creates a motivation that is what we want to do.
And that's the first thing you wanted to bring, trust.
And that's what we wanted to bring.
Awesome. Well, it's been great to watch, and we're looking forward to seeing it on Saturday.
Thank you, Coach.
All righty.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.